Oh, hey, come on in. Welcome to our house. So if you guys have been following me over on Instagram, you know that this has been a really big project in the making. I'm going to split this project up into a few series just to go over all the details. It's just gonna be a really big build that I don't think one video is going to cover all of the details that I wanted to cover. So this first video is going to go over just a general overview of the design and what we're thinking, and also showing you guys what we currently have in our living room here, which it's functional, but it's not really what we're looking for in terms of the aesthetics and the design. So we're just gonna go over that a little bit. And then also I'll take you guys over to the computer to show you guys exactly what it'll look like once it's completed. And to make all of this work, we're gonna have to use very specific types of hardware, all of that which has been provided by Sugatsuni. Specifically for our project here, we're going to use their hidden door hardware. So that's gonna be really cool. Just full disclosure, Sugatsuni does not sponsor my channel. I actually reached out to them because I've been specifying their product as an architect for many years now, and I just really love their products. So I reached out to them to ask if they wanted to provide some of their products for this build here, and they said yes. So they are providing pretty much all the hardware for this build, and I'm super excited to use their products inside my house. So let me give you guys a tour of the living room and how it currently looks like. Right now we have these huge glass sliding doors that leads into the exterior side yard there. And then we have these two doors here. One is for the garage and the other one is the front door. The main focus for this build will be all of this area right in front here. So we have all of our storage unit there, some shoe storage underneath, and some random storage over here. We actually don't have a TV just yet. We're just streaming everything on our iMac right there. Yeah, that's gonna change. We're gonna put in a TV, have a little bit more of a official entertainment center, if you will. And the one thing that we wanna still keep for the future build is all of the storage here. The storage is really nice. We use it, and it keeps all of our shoes where it needs to be. This is my wife's shoes over there, and this is yeah, my shoe. Just one pair of boots in there. Down here I have some storage for my packaging stuff and just random woodworking stuff that I don't really use, some screws and things like that that I don't have space for inside of the shop. And then I still got some more packaging materials up here. Up here, just like more storage, as you guys can see. Yeah, so a lot of storage. We also have a small altar here for evening prayers. We're hoping to incorporate that somewhere into the wall as well. Then my wife has her just everyday purse and stuff that she leaves here. So let me turn you guys over really quick. We try our best to live a very minimalist lifestyle, not necessarily having a space that's absent of stuff. We just really want to make sure that the stuff that we have actually matters. So that's the focus for our house, making sure that if we do have things out, there's a space for it so that in the end of the day, everything looks clean and everything looks tidy. As you can see here, I have some of my son's toys just sitting in the living room floor here, and all of that needs a place to go. And he's just been addicted to these like little furry balls here. I don't know if you guys see that, but yeah, there's like tons of that little thing all over the house. I mean, it's pretty fun. It's been keeping him like really entertained. So if you guys need a way to entertain your kids, these furry balls, really cheap. My wife bought it at, I think, the craft store or something, and he absolutely loves it. So, but right now it's all over the floor, and yeah, we are in dire need of official storage for all of his toys. So then we have some random stuff in the back here. Our ring alarm, we definitely got to set that up and officially mount it on the wall. And then we got DVDs over here, my wife's Friends Complete Collection series. Not much of a Friends fan, she loves it. I prefer How I Met Your Mother because I think it's better, and that's a fact. This is our house freshener stuff, and we got my son's shoes and masks, and this was our electrical kind of utility thing here, but we've moved it into the closet. So one thing I wanted to mention about this door that leads into the garage, this wall is a fire rated wall, so if you have a house and you have your garage attached to your house, the walls that separate your garage from the house is fire rated. So given that, based off of the IRC, which is International Residential Code, section 305, 302.5, I think, somewhere around there, this door has to be 20-minute fire rated, which you could buy a UL door that's been rated for that. But the thing is, those usually come pre-hung, and that's not the type of door that's going to work with the system that I have or the design that I have in place. There are two other doors I could potentially use. One is a solid wood door that is no less than 1 inch and 3/8 in thickness all the way through. The other one is a steel door or a honeycomb door that is also 1 inch and 3/8 in thickness. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to build the solid wood door using poplar, and I'm going to make that at least 1 inch and 3/8 thick, so that should satisfy the code. There are other things that are involved as well, which might be a little bit out of the scope of the video. Things like the door has to be sealed, the door has to be self-closing. So there are a few other things that if you are going to modify your garage door, you really got to look into it, because it is a fire and life safety kind of issue. So you'll make sure that you're dotting all your T's and what? Dotting all your T's. You're crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's. So with that being said, let's head over to the computer and I will show you guys exactly what the design looks like. Guys, so we are here at the computer. Let's go over the 3D model. I'll take you guys into a detailed look as to what we're thinking about the design, as well as all the hardware that's needed to make it all work. So let's go over the design overview first. As you guys can see, it's pretty simple, pretty minimal. That's what look we're going for the entire house. So over here are wood slats made out of white oak. We're going to probably just use a rift-sawn white oak. I don't want the grain of the wood to be distracting, so the rift-sawn is going to be very straight grain, and it's going to look really nice and simple and clean. All these panels you guys can see here as I'm clicking, these are all going to be plywood panels, and there's a slight gloss to it. I'm thinking either we're going to go with a plastic laminate that's glossy, or we might just do a glossy paint. Plastic laminate is going to look a little bit more high quality, but that's going to depend on the budget and what time we have to actually complete the project. So that's still to be decided. The same material is going to be used for the shelving units here. This is just going to be shelving units for a little altar. And then this area here might be some smaller knickknacks. We don't want a whole bunch of boxes kind of laid out on the shelves and look really messy, and that's not what we want. So I think it's going to be more organized, maybe small little home decor stuff. And I'll discuss later about all of the electrical and all that stuff, how we're going to run it. We're going to make sure that it's going to be very clean. It's going to have no cables hanging out. It's going to be nice and tidy. So that's the material selection that we're going for. Let's go ahead and start on the left side of the wall, and that's where the hidden door is going to be located. The highlighted area here, that's the actual door panel, and the area to the left and to the right, those are actually fixed panels. So the fixed panels would be directly attached onto the wall using screws. And how it works is, if I can show you guys like that, portion of the plywood or portion of the white oak will hide this area right here, and that is usually where you would have your trim around the door. Normally there's a gap between the trim and the actual door, so by
extending out the panel, that panel will pretty much cover that seam. So we have a seamless door essentially. To make this door hidden, we have to use special hardware. These are the hidden door hinge from Sugasuni. I'll leave a link down below listing all of the hardware that I'm going to use. These hinges are really awesome. I love these hinges. They're really cool. They're really heavy duty. They are a little bit more complicated to install. You have to use a template. You got to use a router to route it out, and it has to be pretty precise. I know you guys are thinking there's no latch, there's no door pulls. How are we supposed to open the door? I'm going to install an electromagnetic door lock system for the hidden door. Another thing that we will have to have, especially since it's a garage door, I'm going to have a door closer on the back side, and that's going to also hold the door in place. So let's go over these shelving units. These shelving units will have brackets that comes out of the wall, and that will help it give it the floating look. These brackets are pretty simple, pretty cheap. You could just buy it on Amazon, and it holds a decent amount of weight. I've used it in the past before in a previous project, and it seems to work out really well. So that's what we're going to go with. The last area I want to talk about is the actual wall panel here, this white wall panel you see. If I can just remove the TV and let's remove the shelves. All right. So we got a whole bunch of panels here. There's pretty much these longer, bigger panels on the top, and then these smaller panels on the bottom, mainly because the bottom panels here are shorter for our base cabinets. And let me move the glossy panel. There you go. So this is how the carcass is going to look like. I know this kind of weird thing here. That's because that's the shape of those opening. Again, we're not trying to do too much structural changes. I'm just going to fill this area up with a 2x4 framing and put some possibly, I'm going to use plywood that will help us easily mount the TV later on. So, but as you guys can see here, we have this area here as well as this area here for the top. Everything else, these panels right here are just finished panels. They don't do anything other than stick onto the wall. And to do that, we're going to use this hardware here. These are the fast mount panel mounting system from Sugasuni. One side you just screw into the wall, and then the other side you screw into the back of your panel. And all it is you push it into place. These clips are going to allow me to have pretty much no screws exposed on the surface of these panels. They do include a center point where it'll let you know exactly where to mount the mating part, which is very helpful because you want to make sure that it aligns perfectly. Okay, so moving on from the glossy white panels here, let's talk about the actual storage. The idea here is on one side, we're going to have a place for some coats. If we do have guests, that's a place where they can put their coats. And on this other side here, this is going to be our electrical cabinet. So this is going to hold all of the electrical equipment, whatever that we need, it's going to be in there. And again, this is all part of the cable management. I don't want any cables sticking out in the living room underneath the TV or anything. So it's all going to live back there. At the bottom here, we have a few drawers. These drawers are going to pretty much hold our shoes. These are going to be shoes over here. Shoes here. These larger ones in the center will be where we place my son's toys, keep that away and nice and organized. And then on this side, we have, just random organization, random storage that we might need, maybe batteries. Maybe I can put some of my shipping stuff in there. And yeah, so we like that there's still a lot of storage, which you can never have enough of. All of this will be hidden behind the white panel. And for us to do this, what we're going to use for sliders are these sliders here from Sugasuni. All of our drawers will have soft close sliders, pretty standard stuff, nothing too fancy. So for these doors, we're going to use concealed hinges. That way you won't see the hinge. And the difference is we're going to use a spring-loaded one. To keep that spring action closed, we're going to combine it with a magnetic touch latch. That's going to keep the door closed. And if we ever need to open it, all we have to do is push the door. It'll pop open because of the spring, natural spring action. So that's the general idea that we have for the living room. It's a very simple design, but there's a lot of complex things going on that having a model like this is really important. I can pretty much visualize it, see the complications. That way there won't be so many hiccups. Of course, things are going to change and things probably will change, but at least having the model will allow me to go in the right direction. I know this video is a little bit different from the typical build projects, but I wanted to give you guys a look behind the scenes to what it takes to get these projects done, especially the modeling process, and a little bit on my thought process when it comes to the design. It's definitely nice to see the finished product and do the video on that. Doing something like this allows me to express my thought process, and hopefully that's beneficial to you guys. If you did like this video and thought it was helpful, definitely hit that like button and subscribe. Make sure you share this video and leave a comment down below. Let me know what type of details you want me to cover during the build process, because definitely there's going to be a lot to talk about. I want to make sure that if you do have any questions, I can answer it during the build process. That's where I'll leave the video. Until next time, guys, this has been Bauer Design Craft Workshop. See ya.